So welcome back to our channel. My name is Sancho, and today I'm going to make this series. It's called the Mental Health Series. So I'm still wondering, why do they not teach us this in primary school? Because this one is a $1 million information that I'm going to give you as a person who has been doing mental health rotation in my fourth year medical school. I want to give you some of the things that you might need to understand if you are being stressed, sad, or depressed, which are three different things. I'm going to explain that in a future video. So I want to make this video short as possible and help you guys. So make sure you subscribe and help us help a lot of people, your friends, your family, and relatives. So thank you guys. I hope this prayer will be answered. Let me start. So let me explain these things that happen in life. We are never taught this in primary school. Sadly, this is a very sad situation because basically in Africa we are the ones who are at more risk. Because number one is that we neglect this situation. We don't understand that depression can be actually be a real thing. So I'm going to explain a bit of when it is okay and when it is not okay. So this is not meant to give you a diagnosis or meant to give you a cure or treatment, but this one is a tip from a person who is a fourth year medical student and who has been doing a mental health rotation. So I'm kind of giving you this kind of $1,000 information that you don't find in the general population in the day-to-day living, and I'm going to give you it today. So number one, stress. Let me explain this. Stress can be good and can be bad. So when is it good and when is it bad? So number one, so let's say a long time ago, a very long time, a long time ago, during the Iron Age or Stone Age, you might call it. So and your ancestor was there, and when he saw a lion, and if that right there and there, his heart didn't start racing and he didn't run away, you wouldn't be here watching this video today. So that stress that happened a long time ago is the one that made him survive to this day, and you are here representing your ancestors who survived and who were stressed when they saw a lion and their heart started racing. Those who didn't get stressed during that time, they've been eliminated because the lion simply devoured them. So you can see that stress in some time can be a good thing. So let's say, for example, you start getting these low marks and you get stressed, and you now start to go to the library, going to doing these discussions, and you improve your grades. It's a good stress. You have improved. You have made a better life for yourself, which is good. But let me explain. The stress, it becomes a problem when it starts lasting longer than it should, and when it starts impairing social, occupational functioning, and when it starts impairing your overall health, and when it is out of proportion with the situation that is happened. So this is when I come in with the tip that I'm going to explain. So let's dive into the video. So this theory, and this still remains one of the most effective treatment for most mental illnesses, and we call it the cognitive behavioral theory. So Aaron Beck is the one who developed it back in the 1911 or so. So this theory is the most effective. I repeat, it's the most effective treatment. So it hypothesizes that our emotions, people's emotions and behaviors are influenced by their perception of the situation, not the situation in for itself, not the situation itself. So let me repeat this. It hypothesizes that people's emotions and behaviors are influenced by their perceptions, how they see the situation, not by the situation in itself. So Aaron Beck realized that a lot of people who are depressed or stressed, you might say, they develop these what he called negative automatic thought that pops up into their heads, and these negative thoughts that simply arise from nowhere, and these thoughts are the ones that can lead to maladaptive emotions and maladaptive behaviors, and maladaptive line of thinking. So this is what he says. So let's say a situation. Let me give you an example. An example will clarify what I'm trying to put there. So an example is that let's say you are in a class. You are part one, part two, part three, part four. Wherever you're working, you might be awake right now, and you see this girl. You are liking this girl, and you wave at her. You see her one time on a day, and you see her, and you wave that girl. You wave at her, pa 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 pa, hi, or something like that, and she doesn't respond. This one is getting interesting, ladies and gentlemen. So if she doesn't respond, there might be two interpretations of the same situation by two people. So there are two people. This is a situation that has happened. You waved back at her, and you didn't wave back. But the two, this is a situation that has happened. But one might think that, let's say Peter might think that uh, she doesn't like me. I'm not worth of her. She ignored me, and she will never ask out. She will never wave at a girl again in her life, in his life. Let me say, why? Because this is rooting from a core beliefs that we've developed that I'm not worth of love. This is a core belief that Peter has developed, but John might wave back at the friend, and if she doesn't wave back, might start thinking that maybe something's wrong with something, and start worried about the mental uh, situation of that girl. Something might be wrong with Chadiwa, let's say, for example. So this is a situation that is arising, and so I'm trying to give you that it's not the situation that can cause someone to become depressed, but it's like how they view the situation. So it's like we are given all these uh, different shades of sunglasses, and the situation is the same, but we must view it in a different way. So I want to help you see that this is what happens when in some of these situations, and it's rooting from the core beliefs that we've developed early in childhood or as we were growing up. Some people might think that I'm not worthy. Yeah. So it's a core belief that they've developed, and when they get criticized at work, they might start thinking that I'll never get anything right. Nobody sees why my efforts, and they might start get these low maladaptive behaviors and moods and emotions. They must start feeling these kind of things: poor appetite, lack of sleep, which is harmful in a certain way. So the cognitive behavior, the tip that I want to bring to you, together with the cognitive behavioral theory, is that you need to ask yourself, what am I thinking? You need to analyze your thoughts. To you say, one way of improving your overall happiness is by it can be, but I'm going to read it out to you. So I'm not intelligent as you are, guys. So number one is that ask yourself, what is the effect of telling myself this thought? So when you start having these negative thoughts, ask yourself, what is the effect? Eh. So let's say you get criticized at work, and you start thinking that I'm not good enough, I never get anything right. These are what we call negative automatic thoughts that are popping right into your head. Ask yourself, what is the effect of telling myself these thoughts? Are these productive thoughts that are coming in? And we need to trace them back to the core belief about yourself. You're thinking that you have a core belief that you are not worth, you are not and someone who gets something right. So you need to psychoanalyze yourself. You need to uh, put yourself outside of your situation and understand what's happening to you. Why are these thoughts helpful? Number two, what could be the effect of changing my thinking? That's the point number two. You have to ask yourself, what could be the effect of changing my line of thinking when you're stressed or depressed? Number three, what would I tell a friend if she viewed the situation in the way that I'm doing right now? So you need to ask, put yourself outside of the situation, as I've already mentioned, and see what could be if, let's say, my friend was experiencing the same situation that I'm experiencing right now. What could be the effect of of telling myself this? Number three is that this one, what can I do? This is the most important one, because a lot of people, when they get stressed, there are two things, there are two ways about it. You can go on this, what I call a downward spiral, or you can go on an upward spiral. So a downward spiral is the one when you start doing more adaptive behaviors. When you start drinking excessively, you start maybe binge watching, you start doing things that are not adding on to your overall health, and just giving you a temporary sense of relief. So these things might not be helpful in the long run. So you need to find something that is better, and something that can actually, for example, exercise. Exercise is one of the things that can actually help in this kind of situation. So I need you to understand that stress is relatively common among everyone. It can happen anyone. Don't listen to those who tell you that I never get depressed. It's something that happens. A lot of people don't tell you. So I'm here to tell you, bring light to you that things can actually happen, and when it happens, you need to find, you need to know what you are experiencing, and you need to do something that can lift you up at the end of the day. So know that this is a situation that you are going to go through, and you need to go through it in a better way. So this is the tip that I'm sharing with you guys, and I hope it helps someone out there. And but this, always know that what's protective amongst all mental illness is having a good social support. You need friends, you need people you can reach out to, you can offload your burden to. So this is very protective when it comes to mental health. The number one thing we ask a patient when he's being depressed, that we ask about their relationships with the parents, with siblings, with friends, because this one is a very protective factor for people who might be going through mental health problems. So, guys, I hope I gave you a good insight of what CBT is like, and I hope I will make a next series on part two of this video. I'm going to explain it to you uh, in more detail, as I'm going to be giving you this mental health series, trying to raise awareness in Africa that stress can be common and stress can happen. But once it happens, what can we do as the people who are surrounding that person, or what can we do when we are the ones in that situation? So, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.